Hello everyone, welcome to the next lesson of our Spring Security. So in this lesson, I'm going to talk about the roles and permissions and how you can build the authorization model around the roles and permissions and how to use those roles and permissions, right? So I'm going to talk about the granted authorities versus Spring versus roles into the Spring Security, and this is very common. Kind of a confusion point. What are granted authorities? What are roles, and how they are different, right? And in many applications, granted authorities and roles are almost same. So the granted authorities are permissions in a high level if you look into it. So think about the granted authority as if you are logged into the application, what kind of authorities you have, what kind of permission, the operations you can perform. For example, if I am logged in into the application, I may have an authority as to read only. So that means I can only do the read operations. I can read the content and all those things, but I cannot edit it, I cannot modify it. So that's a granted authorities, right? Now the question is, what are the roles? So think about the roles and container of the granted authorities. So a given role can contain a multiple granted authorities. So let's take an example of or admin. So admin is a role, right? And admin role can contain a multiple authorities. For example, admin has a authority to read, to write, update, delete, right? So all sort of things, and you can build any number of different authorities. For example, maybe someone has only authority to do certain things, other group may have a certain role have a authority to do other things. So think about roles in a container and think about an as granted authorities as a permissions. So if you are not building a very complicated application, you can have a one role and one granted authority. That means same role will carry the same granted authority, right? Or and in this lesson, we are going to focus on one-to-one relation between those. But in our next lessons, we will be covering in more detail how we can use the roles to manage the multiple granted authorities. Okay. And the last thing is how the roles and permissions works into the Spring Security. Uh, so this lesson will be focusing on to how to build this roles and permission model around our application. I have already done few things to save the time for this lesson, but I'm going to explain each and every concept, why that has been built, what kind of role it is playing into our code base, and how you can extend it or how you can basically leverage that one. So there are multiple ways to create this roles and permissions workflow into your application. But the way we are going to build in this one is which is very common in the sense that whenever you create any application with an users into that application, you always want to put those user into a certain groups. If it's a simple front end application, probably all user will go into a single user. But there will be a certain set of a customer which are managing those front end application, and they might go into a different roles or a different groups. Let's take an example of a simple online shopping application. Any customer registered into the front end might go into a single bucket or a single group because everyone have a same kind of a permissions. But whoever is managing those front end applications may have a different roles. For example, there might be an admin role, there might be a customer support agent role, there might be a product manager role who is managing all the products, right? All sort of things. So we will be leveraging the same concept where every customer will be part of a group, and we will be using that groups to determines the or to drive the roles and responsibility for our application, right? So what I'm going to do is in this section we are introducing a new, or we are enhancing our data model. So in user entity, we are in kind of creating one new entity which is a group, and we are creating a relation between the user entity. So our user group and user will have a many to many relations. That means a user can have a multiple groups. A user can be an employee and a user can be an admin, right? So that's the model we are going to take. How we are going to assign those groups, it's entirely up to your logic, but we will be briefly talking about that into this section. Okay, so let's see what are the changes we have to do. So the first thing is what I was talking about is the groups. We are creating this entity and it's a very simple entity. It contains a code, name and ID. You have to make sure that you are filling this information into the group entity because it's an independent one. Okay, and then into the user entity, what we are introducing is a many to many relation, okay, between this. Okay, so our user now contains a set of the groups. So these groups are nothing but the groups where we want to place an user, an employee and maybe admin. Employee and maybe with an employee he is also a manager, right? So those sort of things. So with this, the next thing what we have to do is we have to basically during the registration process, or to put it in a different way, how do I assign a customer to a group? So this logic is entirely dependent upon your requirement. For a simple application, what can happen is if every customer is getting into the same group, I can have I can have the logic into the registration process where I will say, okay, during a registration, let's assign this user to a certain group. But if you have a different requirement, you can build that logic. All in all, either you assign the group during the registration time, or you can assign the group post registration where you might have certain kind of approval processes that in order to make an employee admin, he may have to get the certain permissions, right? So once permissions are done, you will assign that group. This is the registration process. So what we are doing is, to keep it simple, I'm going to assign every registered customer to a customer group. Okay, right? So this is our registration method. We have already talked about this in our registration lesson. All I'm doing is during the registration, I am calling this method, getting a group from our group table and then assigning this group to the entity. So this completes our first workflow where customer do a registration and he will automatically be registered as part of the customer group, or the customer group will be added to his profile. Okay, now the second thing is how do we use these groups in order for Spring Security to determine the permissions? What can we do about it? So if you remember, we have talked about our custom user detail service, right? So this service is responsible to provide the user details to the Spring Security so that it can determine whether the user is a valid user and what kind of granted authorities it carries, right? So in earlier we have a static field or a static list which we were building here. Now I have changed the logic a little bit. So what I'm doing is, and logic is still very simplistic, I'm passing the user entity if we get one, and then within that user entity all I am doing is fetching the groups from the user profile and then converting those user profile to a granted authority. All I am doing is creating a simple granted authority and passing the user group ID as the ID for that one and doing an uppercase, right? It's very simple. So if my user group ID is, let's say, admin, so the granted authority will become admin. If my user group ID is customer, the granted authority will become customer. So what happen is, now if you do a login, you have a valid username and credential. So this will get your profile, right? And then within your profile, whatever the groups has been assigned will be sent back as a granted authority to Spring Security to take an action. Whether a given URL is authorized, can you access that URL based upon your permissions, which are nothing but these granted set of the granted authorities. Okay. The next thing is, how can we use that one? So the first thing, probably is where you want to understand or you want to derive whether a given URL is accessible or authorized for a given user or not. Or for those one we have already talked about this has any authority, has authority, rules, has any rules in our last lesson. So we this is an extension of the same lesson, right? So what I'm going to do is, in this case we are telling the Spring Security that all users having a authority of customer or admin access to this account and any URL that starts with the account. If a customer carries a different authority, they won't be able to access this section. All right. So that's the one thing. Uh, Other thing we have a so this is basically where you can derive before you go to a certain URL, where you hit a URL, do you have a permission or not, right? Based upon that one you can write those things. But you can take it a one step further, in the sense that, let's say you want to show certain information to certain authorities but not to the other one. So we have already talked about Spring Security tags, right? So if you see in this one, what I'm doing is I'm telling Spring Security that, hey, for this section, right, if the user carries an admin authority, this section is only applicable to admin. So that means even if I'm logged in, if I go to this specific page, if I am having a customer authority, I won't be seeing this section, and we will see that in once we get into the demo. All right. So that's an overall view of how you can basically create Spring Security roles and authorization framework. I have used the group as a backbone to derive all those things, and the flexibility with this approach is you can create as many as groups as possible, right? And then you can assign those groups to the different customers, right? All you have to do is to make one change. For example, there is a specific URL, all you have to do is add that group name here, and rest of the things will work automatically with Spring Security. You don't have to write any code. Your customer user detail service will automatically fetch that user information, create the granted authority list, and do those things for us. All right. So enough about how this code look like and enough about looking into the codes. Let's quickly get into the demo part of it. Okay. So I have already created two users for us. I'm going to use those two users uh, to see the end-to-end things in action. So these are the two users I have created. Okay. So let's see quick things. Okay. So just to give you more idea, this is this is our group table, which contains the information about the different user groups that are into our application. All right. So we have right now two groups. One is a customer group and another is an admin group. Okay. And this is the user group, and this is created because we have a many to many relation between user and user groups. All right. So if you see, what I have done is we have two users here, right? We have this contact us and contact us admin, right? And they have the user ID as 1 and 2. If I go to my user group, 1 have a group ID as 1. Okay. So the group ID 1 is an customer. Okay. And then 2 has a group ID of 2, which is an admin, and 2 is the 2 is our contact us admin. All right. So my application has already started. Let's do one thing. Okay. Let's try to log in. So this is the user with a customer role. So I'm into this section, right? So based upon everything, we have the few details. Now look into this section. We have a dashboard, customer, my account, and payment detail. I'm going to do a quick logout. I'm going to log in through the admin. Okay. So let me quickly show you one thing. So for admin, what we have shown is that the order section is only available if the login user has a profile as an admin, right? So if you see, order is there, I have logged in as an admin. If I do a logout, if I do a re-login again, I don't see order section there, right? Now, this is just a very simplistic example, but you can keep on building based upon the different rules, and this is a very common kind of a requirement, where within an application, based upon your profile, you may want to show certain information, right? You may want to show certain links, other links will not be visible to the customers. Similarly, so this can be easily controlled using this has authority and add roles we are automatically building through our default user service. The second thing which is more handy is, for what happen, let's say if I go to, I have this URL and I'm already logged in. How do you handle it? So the way I handle it is through our account configuration thing, where I will already say that any URL pattern with this given pattern, only these authorities have an access to kind of go and take a look into all those details, right? If you like this tutorials, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.